Hello and welcome to this special telecast. My name is Vineet Malhotra and today we'll be speaking with someone very special, Mr. Manish Walia, head of IABG, Delta Electronics India, is joining us on the broadcast. It's a very important conversation that we're going to have today, one that you're going to enjoy tremendously. Well, Manish is a distinguished leader with over 30 years of industry experience, is the head of the Industrial Automation Business Group, which is of course the IABG at Delta Electronics India for the SAARC region. And since joining Delta in 2008, he has been instrumental in driving the industrial automation business to remarkable growth, transforming it into one of the top tier brands across various product categories in India. Manish, appreciate you taking out the time and speaking with us. The first question, of course, that comes to my mind is, with the rise of Industry 4.0, how is Delta Electronics integrating advanced technologies like AI, IoT and robotics into its automation solutions to boost India's manufacturing sector?
Thank you, Vineet, for having me here. And yeah, we've been in Delta for the last 20 years in India, and then have been incorporating a lot of these high-tech technologies inside our manufacturing space and building our product and solutions around the AI, IoT and even the robotics, and which is actually helping us going to the manufacturing space, which is growing at a very fast pace at this point in time in India. I mean, we all know from 16 to 17% of the contribution of the GDP to which is slated to grow to about 25% based on the policies and the regulations and the other incentives given by the government. We are very rightly placed with regards to bringing the best of the technologies into the manufacturing to the Indian consumers at this point in time. Yeah.
Fabulous, Manish. And how can industrial automation drive manufacturing growth in tier 2 and tier 3 cities, and what specific challenges do manufacturers in these regions face when adopting automation? It's something new to a lot of them.
Frankly speaking, as you rightly said, there are challenges, adopting the technology or the automation in the tier 2 and tier 3 space. That's primarily because most of the manufacturers, most of the people like us are primarily driving all this business from the tier 1 cities, but then which is changing because the Indian landscape in manufacturing is changing. Industries are coming to tier 2 and tier 3 cities, so necessarily we are there as an organization to support the tier 2 and tier 3 cities manufacturing growth. And we do it direct, we do it through our partners and the integrators, so that we have the best of the products and solutions delivered to across the industry breadth, wherein we are present, so that we can deliver and give the best of the solutions to the consumer. Yeah.
Very rightly said, Manish. And SMEs are critical to India's manufacturing ecosystem. How can Delta's automation solutions help SMEs scale their operations and compete with some of these larger players?
Vineet, I would like to add here that it's not about competing with the larger players. I think the entire chain, the entire ecosystem which has developed and then which is actually going to develop very, very quickly over the next decade, 2 decades within the Indian manufacturing space. I would see both the large enterprise and the SMEs need to coexist. So large enterprise are growing at a rapid pace. The SMEs are also growing at a rapid pace. And then, as you know, Indian manufacturing SMEs are contributing about 35 to 40% to the Indian manufacturing space at this point in time, which is substantial. And then if we talk about the entire chain in the supply, I think the SMEs need to contribute and work to bring in the certain products to the large enterprise, so that we can actually bring in more and more advanced solutions and the products to the Indian consumers, and also exporting out of India as the best of the finished goods available in the market. Yeah.
Very nice. And let's also talk about how is Delta Electronics contributing to the development of smart factories in India, and what role do tier 2 and tier 3 cities play in this very much needed evolution?
Yeah, Vineet, I would like to break it down into two. First, as to what Delta is doing in terms of bringing this smart manufacturing into the Indian space. We've been a very strong manufacturing company globally, and having factories all across the globe. And Also have a large setup in down south right now, wherein we have the DTA as well as the SEZ unit, and also adding a lot of our research and development force within Bangalore at this point in time. Coming to the smart manufacturing, it's the days have come wherein not just in India, across the globe, all the manufacturing, whether they are a cell or a manufacturing line or a product, they all need to be smart. So everything has to be connected, and then we're all interconnected at this point in time. All the devices need to be connected, wherein there is a lot of data which is there in the entire ecosystem, which needs to be fetched, which needs to be translated into some reasonable input, so that we can have the better processes and we can actually fine tune the processes for the future and bring in the best of the results for any of the process line or the end user, wherein we as a manufacturer are working with them. Yeah, that's how we do it. Coming to your second part, wherein we are talking about the tier 2 and tier 3 cities, how do we implement that? And then we are actually scaling up our operations across India, not just in tier 1, tier 2 and tier 3 cities as well, and working as a direct force as well as through our integrators to bring in the entire automation on the machine, factory and process to our customers in tier 2 and tier 3 cities, which is very important for us. And then at the same time, we are training the workforce through working very closely with the engineering colleges and also some skill development centers, so that we have the desired workforce into the tier 2 and tier 3 cities to bring the manufacturing to a certain desired level.
Well said, Manish. And with sustainability becoming a priority now, how can automation contribute to energy efficient and environment ally sustainable manufacturing practices?
Delta has been in the forefront when it comes to sustainability, and it shows in our motto also, smarter, greener, together. All our products, whatever we are building right now, and then we are actually investing a lot of our annual revenue in terms of bringing the R&D to a certain level. And then first and foremost, before I go into what the manufacturer has to do, I think as a consumer, it is the first responsibility as to how you consume, how you save energy is very important. And then as a manufacturer, Delta, what we do, our products are very high in efficiency, and we are actually building a lot of these solutions around these products, and also we are going outside the Delta world to bring in the entire solution, which can actually deliver the best of the OEE, best of the productivity and best of the efficiency for the Indian manufacturing industry, whether it is machine, factory and the process automation. And we will continue working in this direction very, very hard with regards to our R&D and other investments.
And Manish, how are government initiatives like Make in India and the PLI scheme helping to accelerate automation adoption in India, particularly for SMEs and smaller manufacturing hubs, according to you?
I think it's been pretty interesting for people like us who are into this industry. I think we all know Indian industry has been, the Indian GDP, the biggest contribution has been coming from services as well as the agriculture up till now. And even now, as I already spoken about, 16 to 17% of contribution is actually the manufacturing to the entire GDP, which is slated to go to 25%. And primarily on account of the PLI and the Make in India initiatives by the Government of India, which is driving a lot of investments into the various industries. We see 3C industries, for example, mobile and other electronics, and also a lot of other sectors which have been directly driven by these PLI, which is more than 14, I believe, at this point in time, wherein the PLI schemes have been incorporated. And then I think it's actually giving scales to the manufacturing. It is actually giving the India being a country which is slated to be next to our neighbors at this point in time in terms of manufacturing going ahead. I believe that's going to be the core aspect for us to grow in the market. Yeah.
Well said, Manish. And according to you, what emerging technologies in automation such as AI, machine learning and digital twins do you see shaping the future of manufacturing, and how is Delta positioned to lead in this particular space? Would you elaborate, please?
Vineet, AI and robotics and IoT, and as well as the digital twins, all these are very important at this point in time. We are actually moving from discrete to a very interconnected or a connected automation or a process automation, wherein all these play a big role. We all have a lot of data in our hands, so we're using all this data to really bring in the right models, which can actually bring in some level of ideas to people who are working on the line to bring in the preventive maintenance, and to see what is that we can actually do in terms of improving the process further using these tools like AI and ML, right? And all these are incorporated into our, when we are actually building the products now, and also the entire process and the solutions we are actually building directly as well as through the integrators. This is one. Second, when we talk about the digital twins, we are actually incorporating all this digital twin technology within our design stage itself. When we are actually designing the product, when we are designing the entire process line or the manufacturing line, we are actually using these digital twins to simulate in advance as to what could be simulate the production environment which could be in the line at this point in time. And also this reduces the time of changeovers. If at all one product to another product we need to change over in a certain line, we need not spend a lot of time physically on the line, and it really improves the overall effectiveness, productivity, and the efficiency in the entire process.
Manish, it was a pleasure speaking with you, and thank you so much for these profound insights into not only your company but the wonderful work that you're doing, and of course the way you're facilitating the Make in India endeavor by the government, and of course loads of other contributions towards India's economy, which is slated to in fact reach 5 trillion, say perhaps in a couple of years. Thank you so much for speaking with us.
Thank you, Vineet. Thanks a lot. Yeah.